How do you do? I'm George again. I'd like to make mention of Columbus. Now, Columbus crossed the ocean and discovered land on the other side of the ocean. Man in Europe had no idea there was land across the ocean. They thought if you traveled across the ocean, you'd come to the end and fall off the earth. But Columbus proved different. If it hadn't been for Columbus, we wouldn't be living in the United States, because indigenous peoples were developing in the United States, in Mexico and South America. And they would have continued growing more and more. And by the time the steamship would have been invented, the United States would have been heavily populated by Native Americans throughout all of the United States and Mexico and South America. But after Columbus, explorers started coming across the Atlantic, coming to South America, Mexico, Central America, and killing off the peoples. But as I said, if it had been for Columbus, we wouldn't be living here today. We would have been coming here as tourists to the United States and seeing different Native American villages as tourists. The Europeans really didn't want to cross the Atlantic because they feared that there might not be enough wind for their sails. They also feared that sea serpents would attack their ships. And they had a lot of fears about crossing the ocean in a sailing ship. So nobody was going to attempt to cross the ocean, but Columbus did. And he discovered land across the ocean. And if it hadn't been for Columbus, nobody would have crossed the ocean until the 1800s, when the steamship was being used. And up to that time, our country would have been very populated by Native Americans. We couldn't live here. We would have been coming here as tourists from Europe. I just want to make mention of that. Hope you enjoyed what I said. Thank you.